To our main conversation for today. The House of Representatives has rejected a bill that sought to make it mandatory for presidential and governorship candidates to secure more than 50% of the total votes cast to be declared winners. The bill, sponsored by Awaji Inombek Abiente from PDP Rivers State, aimed to amend the 1999 Constitution by removing the simple majority rule for presidential and governorship candidates. Abiante's proposal sought to amend Section 134 and 179 of the Constitution, which provide the condition to be elected president and governors respectively. Abiante's proposal sought to change the simple majority rule to a majority. In other words, when there are more than two candidates in the race, the winner must secure more than 50% of the total votes cast. Well, perhaps that last has already been heard about such a proposition. And in the studios with me today to discuss more on that is Barrister Tunji Abdul Hamidi. He's a barrister at law and also a current affairs commentator. You're welcome. Good morning to you, sir.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be with you.
Thank you so very much for giving us your time. So let's talk about this, especially as it relates to your area of forte. You are a very active politician, and it's very important we talk about this, especially as it pertains to having the most, transparent elections in Nigeria. Now, what do you think about this? Do you think this is a good ride for Nigerian political space before we go into all the things on the discourse?
On my own party, I think it's a good, proposal as far as I'm concerned. Because if you look at what happened at the last election, 2023 election, you will recall that our current president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was declared the winner by INEC. Based on his simple majority votes. But if you combine the vote gathered by the PDP candidate, the APC, the Labour Party candidate, the Alhaji Kwankwaso Party NNPP candidate, and other candidates together, put them together, they subsume the vote gathered by the president, which becomes so. People are look. If you look at it critically, people believe that those who vote against the president are more than those who voted in favor of the president. So therefore, we have a president that's not popular. That is the thinking. That's the argument of some people that rather than have a president that will not be popular, that will be seen not to be popular because of the nature and manner of the way. If you add the APC, PDP, just even Labour Party, PDP alone, add it together, they've superseded or they are more than the vote gathered by the president. So in that regard, people see more minority voting against the president than the majority. And in that regard, they are saying, look, rather than rely on the current position that we have now, that's Section 134 and Section 179 of the Constitution, whereby what is required for you is just to have a simple majority. In other words, even if you have just one vote to lead the opposition and the other party, and you meet all the other requirements, you are qualified to be a governor or the president. So they are looking at, let's change it to a situation whereby not only your simple majority will give you results, you must have at least 50% of the total vote. In other words, you'll be seen as being voted for by the majority, not by the minority. So, in other words, if you have over 50%, nobody can say you are not the popular candidate or you are not voted for by the people. So, in this case, the argument that is on ground now that our president was voted by the minority will not be there. I think that will be the basis behind that bill in my own thinking. And I think that they have a similar situation in the U.S. Well, in the U.S. it's not about you can have a majority. Their own is different from our own. You can have a majority vote, and yet you will not be president. They have their own. That was what happened to Hillary. Was it like Clinton or so? Yeah. She got the highest votes, but when they look at other requirements regarding certain number of she didn't meet that. So we want to also fraction that because the presidential system or whatever system has no particular rule as to how to go about it. You can develop your own rule. Just what is required in democracy is that just let it be about the people. And that's what I think is brain behind that idea. Let's see that the interest of the people is being reflected based on their votes. So if you have a majority voting for a particular president, the issue will be seen as everybody are in agreement with him being the president, unlike what happened in the last election.
Now, it seems very surprising that as an active politician, you are pro this particular bill. Why do you think the rest of Nigerian politicians we have in the House of Representatives are kicking against this very, very, very inclusive bill that would work for our democracy in Nigeria?
You know, it's like the most important thing is that people we have at the National Assembly today, majority of the people that are being appointed at the National Assembly today, with due respect, majority of them are not voted by the majority of the people.
Please explain more.
They were not, when I say voted by majority of people here, is that some of them, the way they even became a candidate was an imposition. Some of them were nominated, were just imposed on other members of the party. And you see, in this our country, once you belong to a particular party, no matter how bad you are, you'll be seen as a good person. Sometimes when you belong to a particular party, no matter how bad you are, you'll be seen as a good person. No matter if we are in a particular party, no matter how good you are, you'll be seen by other people as a bad person. That is the kind of person we have. They have this bandwagon followers.
Yeah.
And that's why they are even suggesting that, look, whenever we are doing our election, that the election should be structured in a way that all the elections will be done in one day, so that nobody will use an influence to do anything. You remember some of the candidates of the Labour Party that are in National Assembly today, they were voted in not because the people believe in them. Some people don't even know them, but because some of them were in Labour Party. Some of the APC members that were in National Assembly today, they were not voted because people love them. People in the state where APC dominates, the majority will vote based on that party line. So they don't even know, or they don't even know who and who is contesting. Some of these people, when they say my mandate, mandate given to me by people, I laugh. Because sometimes I don't believe they were given any mandate. They were just put there by people, power that be in our country. Because in our country, our results, our elections are determined. In order for purpose of primary, you are that throw you out as a candidate. Once it's not transparent, you cannot be seen as a candidate of the people because you are not elected at the people. No matter what number of votes you eventually get at the what's it called, eventually get at the what's it called, the main election.
Yeah.
Even as much as your primary does not reflect the democracy that is required, the interest of the people, you are being imposed. Then it's not. So if you are not there for the people, whenever you are taking any decision, how many of them seek an opinion of any of their constituency before taking that decision? And in a situation where people believe that we are representing the people, such kind of a bill should not be just thrown out just at the introduction stage level. They should be say, okay, now that you are bringing this bill or we have reviewed this bill, let's consult with our people. And so, but these days, what these people in the National Assembly and National Assembly see their own interest as the interest of everybody. So whatever they believe they want to go to is where they believe that everybody is going to, and they will tell you my constituency said the content that was never consulted. So there was no consultation about this. If there had been consultation, I believe, and there's a proper fair public hearing on this, most Nigerians will support the idea of a president must have a 50% before he can be elected. But because these people who have here are basing their position on the interest of the party, and you know most of the majority of these people in the House are APC members, and they would likely see it as an attack on their president, or people who may likely want to become president because they know the things and the environment is now tense. That it may be difficult for anybody to just cross above 50% results, and they're trying to look for a shortcut to get that result. That I think may be the reason why they voted against it.
All right, so let's look at this from different perspectives, especially as it concerns this bill as presented by Abionte and its importance to efficiency in our leadership in this country. But before going into that, I'd love you to take a look at it from the perspective of the opposition. Do you think if Atiku had won this election, that Mr. Abionte would have introduced this as a great bill that would ensure sustainability for our political space in the country?
Let's talk about what is on ground. Let's not assume.
No, because it's very...
speculate. That will amount to speculation.
Yeah, okay.
We don't know what... Because some people... Now, when you blame the government now, some people will come and say, if Atiku had won, will he not do the same thing? If did they win? Were they the one in power? Let them be in power first. Yes. When they are in there, and that is not happening. If Biante or whatever, what is his name, forgive me for spoiling his name.
No, that's his correct name.
Yeah, if Atiku had won the election and he's not bringing the bill, another member who's from another party may also bring it.
Because the reason
So the fact that I am silent
yes.
or not criticizing my candidate, for instance, does not mean other people will not do it. So anybody can, if he's not doing it, some other people will come out with, so it must not be, sometimes, like I know what you're talking about, sometimes it's interest, where your interest lies. Sometimes they reflect your thinking and decision sometimes. So it may be because he's in opposition now. That's why he's thinking in that line. So if he's also in power, his party is in power, the other opposition will also think in that line. So it's not about I am not that one that gives that's giving to that scenario of assuming no, it's not there. It's not there.
Because, Barrister, we're actually talking about international best practices, and it all results to the end game is ensure that leadership is what it should be in the country. PDP has been in power for 16 years, and never did we hear a time when one of them ever said, okay, let's have a majority vote where 50% goes. But right now we're beginning to have.
Are you aware?
Yes.
Or do you know that while the PDP was in power for that 16 years, or those 16 years, there was never a situation like this that happened in 2023. In other words, where the president will win and then the vote of the minority will be bigger than its vote.
But PDP don't say they are ready to rule for 60 years.
We don't have that. We don't have that situation. I'm not here to defend the PDP.
Yes.
I'm not here to defend anybody. I'm just telling the fact. The fact is that, look, if you are saying you never see that, maybe the scenario that happened in 2023 did not happen. So where a situation whereby the person that will become a winner will not have the majority of vote in quotes, majority of vote in quote now, in terms of combining the vote of the opposition together and with his own. There was no instance where PDP was in power. So that is the difference between the two. So that probably that is the reason why people did not think of it. So you see, sometimes when an amendment is being made to law, request is being made for amendment, it's based on what has happened or what they've seen. Sometimes you don't see something don't happen, you may not even think in that manner. You may likely not think that this can happen. So when it happens, you cannot say, let's look at a way around it. That will prompt your thinking to that regard. So let's not look at it in the area of politics. Okay. Say because it's in PDP, that's why it's asking that question. Yes, even if it's not in PDP, if APC were also in the position, when APC were also in the position, they did more than they did more than what the PDP are doing now. In fact, some people are even saying PDP doesn't know how to play politics, opposition. that they're not even putting the government under pressure. You remember all the things they did. Why I remember Alhaji Mehmet was almost everywhere. He called Jonathan a lot of headache. He caused him a lot of headache, and he even made him sit tight in a way. The issue of uniform subsidy. It was the opposition that did not allow you to fly. Yeah. So it depends on where you are and how you want to do what you are thinking. When these people who were in government today were in opposition, what they were saying at that time is not what they are not doing now. What they were condemning when they were in opposition is not the same thing they are doing now. So if you are saying because it's in the PDP, it may not be. I may not agree with you in that regard.
All right. So let's look at this with respect to efficiency of those in leadership, and I'd love you to maybe, if you may, bring this home to the competence of those that we have in authority today. Do you think that the lack of the majority, coming from across the country could be the reason why we've had it so bad with this administration? And it's very important we point lots of things that have gone wrong. Electricity is no longer what it is. Inflation has skyrocketed. People are no longer happy with the state of things. Patriotism is nosediving, and lots of things are happening today. Do you think the simple fact that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu took 37% of the total votes, which of course it's not up to 50% like Abionte Vid proposed, do you think that could be the reason why we're not having it so good with efficient leadership in this country?
That may not be. That may not be.
So what do you think could be the reason?
But the constitution we have today, I will attribute it to two things. To one thing, lack of preparedness from the current administration. It's what the policy that bringing out shows that they are not prepared. They have been doing a try and error game, and they have been doing some assorting of policies. They bring out policy today, they change it tomorrow, they do it, and some of the policies are not well thought out before being introduced, and that's the reason. So the first day pronouncement of the president, subsidy is gone. Is the major reason why we are where we are today, and followed by the FX, what's it called, policy. That those two policies have a great impact negatively on our economy, and they've been struggling to resolve that issue to date.
So, which means that if we had the 50% rule, we wouldn't have obviously had Ahmed Bola Tinubu as the president, and therefore we would not have had the situation that we are in now.
You cannot say so. Like I said, you cannot say because it was Bola Ahmed Tinubu that we're having this situation. Though, like I said earlier on, he made a statement that shows, or that seemed to show that he was not, he didn't prepare well or study the ground very well before hitting the grant. So he didn't study it very well before hitting the grant, maybe likely. But if you also have a similar president, apart from him, that will not study the ground very well before hitting the ground, we may likely also run into this situation. So I will not say, and that's why I say I don't like assumption. They are not there now. So he has taken his own step. When he came, he failed to look at the books. He failed to look at everything that's on ground. He just made a pronouncement. You can't just make that such pronouncement that's as big as that, and without any preparation, and expect there won't be consequences.
Now, finally, as a barrister at law, you are very experienced in this particular cause, and I'd love to ask you, with the rejection from the House of Representatives, what do you think could be the next way forward, especially constitutionally? How do you think we can press this home to ensure that this very good bill passes?
The only other way we can press it out is if Nigerians say, look, this is what we're looking for. We want it. And
Nigerians,
yes,
that are not represented by those in authority.
Yes, let me educate you one way. Bill in the House, the only members of the National Assembly are not the only people responsible or have the right to present bill in the House. There are different types of bill. There's what we call executive bill. There's what we call members bill. There's what we call hybrid. And there's a bill. The members of the executive can present bill to the House. The members can present bill to the House. Anywhere for the public can also, as a Nigerian, if National Assembly, if you're your state, as a member of the state, you have the right, you can present a bill to them. But the problem we have in our country is that no matter how good your bill is, if you don't have people who push it for you, in other words, if they don't buy your
if there's no consensus,
they don't buy your idea or proposal, it may not fly. And that's why I said, if people say, look, this is what we are looking for, and it's been echoed everywhere, they will not have any choice than to give it to us. But amending constitution, it will require amendment of constitution, and the process of amending constitution is very, very tedious. Even that bill, if it passes through if it was passed by the what's it called, House of Rep, it will still go to the Senate. Senate will have to pass it, and they will have to go to states for their concurrence. Otherwise, it will not be passed. So it's a long route to fly. And even if it was passed yesterday, or it was agreed to fly, I'll continue the process. Because, we have first reading, second reading, committee stage, and the third reading, then presidential assent. Those will be followed, both at the House of Rep and at the Senate. Exactly. When that is done, they'll go back to the states and then get their concurrence. And if it doesn't fly, So, but people, if you want it to fly, people must play a role. No, exactly. The role must be that their voices must be heard by the National Assembly, loud and clear, that this is what we are looking for and this is what we want. The people at the National Assembly, after all, they are our representatives.
Very true.
So they must listen to us and do what we say we are looking for.
Very, very true. So the truth of the matter and the fact remains that either simple majority or relative majority, what Nigerians need is efficient leadership where our leaders are accountable, our leaders do what they should do, and Nigerians should reap the dividends of democracy in our country. I'd love to say a big thank you to Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid for being part of our show today. Thank you so very much, sir. It was really an engaging discussion.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be with you.
Thank you so very much. And for you watching, we'd love to say thank you also too very well for being part of our show today. Please do well to visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com. Like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. I am Henry Igwe. I'll see you tomorrow for yet another great time. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.